What's up, guys? It's your boy Cam. I am here with another video. We are here with the Fallout show, the NXT takeover in your house. That was a pretty good pay-per-view. We had some debuts, and spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, AJ Styles. We had Yuri Katsumatsu retain. We had Adam Cole win. Rhea Ripley won. Adam Cole won. So it was overall a really good show. So yeah, let's really get into it. But before we start, I just want to say, if you haven't checked out NXT Takeover Stand and Delivery, it's in my channel. It's in my channel. Also, NXT Takeover in Your House is in my channel too. And we are on the road to NXT Takeover Supremacy, which is kind of like our Survivor Series, which is going to be interesting. But I just want to tell you what happened on the B show. Brian Cage won, Ricky Starks won, Shazza McKenzie won, Indy Hartwell won, and she says the beautiful people are giving the division a bad light. Just remember that for future references. Jungle Kiona won, but she threw down her blaster. What does that mean? I know what that means, but what does that mean? Candice LeRae and Camille defeated Jessie Kamea and Camilla Perez. Leon Ruff got a win. Jessica Havoc, she returned and she got a win. She said that she took time to evaluate herself and change her attitude. Michelle Thomas, she defeated Zoe Stark. Deonna Purrazzo defeated Red Velvet. The Beautiful People got a win. Chris Dijak won. Brian Pillman won. Kylie Ray won. Layla Hirsch won. And Kamiko Asahara won. Also, the most important thing I think that happened from the show is when Io Shirai told Kamiko that TakeOver was fun, but she's flying solo. And if you see the screen right here, TakeOver happened after this, so I had to know the TakeOver results before this happened. So, yeah, I already knew that Io and Kamiko wasn't going to win, but Io said that she's done with this whole Kamiko, Rosemary, Alyssa Flash thing, and she's going ahead and focus on being a solo and being one of the better women's wrestlers in the world, if not the best. So let's get into the show. So William Regal's in the ring, and he says that NXT is heating up. In Your House was a bloody, amazing pay-per-view. The great surprises like the debut of AJ Styles. Speaking of, AJ will compete here tonight in his first match in NXT against Tyler Bate in our main event. Brody King will return to action. Khabib will also return here to speak. Michelle Thomas will make her Inferno debut under the new moniker, and Io Shirai will be in action. William Regal says that for TakeOver Supremacy, I spelled that one wrong, but it will be champions from Inferno facing the champions from Thunder. As it stands, it will be Bianca Belair versus Maya Awatani and Yuri Katsumatsu versus Chad Gable. But as what Regal says, as it stands, it could always change due to injury or some title change. So that's where it stands at right now. And there will also be a men's team for Inferno and a women's team for Inferno facing the women and men of Thunder respectfully. And there will be a special incentive for the teams that win. Thank you and enjoy the show. The lights go out. A ticking time bomb appears on the screen. The countdown gets to 10 seconds. Then eventually to 1 second. Then we hear a loud explosion over the PA system. The lights come back on, and Hiromu Takahashi is standing in the ring with Daryl in the air. The crowd erupts because they were not expecting him at all. William Regal smirks in the background because he said that new signings were coming. And Hiromu speaks and says, Hiromu is NXT. The crowd is shocked and doesn't know what to do. So yes, before I really started this save back in 2016, I just started learning on Hiromu Takahashi's work. And I said, man, this guy is really good. He kind of reminds me of Shinsuke Nakamura a little bit. Not so much the in-ring style, but more so the charisma. Even though it was in Japanese, I didn't understand what he was saying. The crowd was really receptive to it, and you could just see the charisma flowing through him, even though it was in a different language. And I said, I wanted to sign him. So I looked at his contract and it said a year. So I said, okay, in a year's time, I will sign him. And when I said I was looking for somebody to sign, that's who I was trying to sign in the first place, was Hiromu Takahashi. And I'm so happy he's here in NXT. Debuted his fan favorite gimmick, rating very good. So yeah, Hiromu Takahashi is here in NXT. We'll see what happens with him. But AJ Styles, Hiromu Takahashi, goodness, you want to talk about some great signings. 69. So Keith Lee says he beat Chris Dijak at TakeOver, but tonight he's feeling good. He's having an open challenge for anyone that can answer the call. Alex Shelley comes out, but with no Chris Sabin. Shelley wants a shot at the TV championship. 79. You want to talk about great rating? I will take that. And about that had fantastic heat and great wrestling. Keith Lee defeated Alex Shelley in 15-12 by pinfall. The power slam during the match also had Chris Sabin distract Alex Shelley, and not so much more distract him in the like he's his opponent, because that's his tag partner right now. But Chris Sabin, during the match, he's coming down the rampway, and Alex Shelley's telling Chris Sabin that he doesn't want anything to do with him at all right now. And he tells Chris Sabin to shoo away, and he gets caught in the power slam and loses. So that's why I want the finish to happen. So that's why we have Chris Sabin distract Alex Shelley. Not so much to Alex's detriment, even though it was, but he was there to support him, but he ended up losing. And this is the best match, one of the better ratings match-wise in the series, but also one of the better ratings for Keith's Television Championship Open Challenge. 79 for Keith, 72 for Alex Shelley. Keith Lee benefited from a hot new move along with Alex Shelley. 65. Alex Shelley tells Chris Sabin to leave him alone. Chris tries to grab Alex Shelley to cool him down, but Alex Shelley shoves Chris Sabin to the ground. So what is happening with the Motor City Machine Guns? 91. I will take that. So Maya Iwatani comes out and she says that Tegan Nox was a great first challenger, but she looks towards supremacy. Iwatani says that Bianca Belair is one of the most dominant women to ever step foot in NXT. Their paths have never crossed up until this point. It will be the best versus the best. Mayu says both women have been virtually unbeaten. This battle will show who's the best woman not only in NXT, but the best woman in the world. She tells Bianca Belair to be ready because she's not losing. Tegan Nox comes out and she says that she's still coming for that title, but she recognizes that even though she lost, she has to work her way back up there. Nox says there's no better woman to represent this brand than Mayu. And the camera pans up and we see Rosemary, Melissa Flash, and the rafters watching both women. So what is Mayu? So Maya Iwatani versus Bianca Belair for right now. But Alyssa Flash and Rosemary looks like they have the eye on Maya Iwatani or Tegan Nox. Maybe both. But we'll see what happens. But very interesting. This segment does a lot. We had Tegan saying that she's coming back for that women's championship. Mayu is giving some build towards a potential Bianca Belair match in a couple weeks. And we have Alyssa Flash and Rosemary in the rafters, potentially spying on Mayu, Tegan, or maybe both. But 91, great rating. You won't hear me complain about that at all. 50. So Malcolm Bivens comes out and says that even though Bivens Enterprises lost at TakeOver, this is the only beginning of their dynasty. They will build this brand in their image. Brian Pillman walks out in street clothes while Everrise get ready for their match. Out of nowhere, Arya Daivari in a suit beats down Shane Thorne and Jeet Rama. And Jeet Rama and Shane Thorne are Everrise's opponents. And Arya Daivari puts Shane in a crossface, where he then throws Jeet Rama out of the ring. Bivens and the rest of his enterprise smiles. Everrise get in the ring with Shane and Rama laid out, and Malcolm hands Arya Daivari some money, and Daivari leaves. So like I said, I'm trying to build up characters in Arya Daivari. His new gimmick is the Fixer, and what he does is he gets paid money or gets paid in incentives for people to do the jobs that other people don't want to do, or do jobs for other people. And it seems like he's doing a job for Bivens Enterprises, and I like it. We're pushing Brian, we're pushing Malcolm, pushing Everrise, and we're pushing Arya Daivari. And a 50 is a really good rating, so I like it. Even though this rating wasn't good, I'm still building up Everrise. But 54 from Chase Parker, goodness. In an extremely short match, Everrise defeated Jeet Rama and Shane Thorne, and 524 when Chase Parker pinned Shane Thorne with the lung blower, 40. Matt Martell, 41. Chase Parker, 54. Shane Thorne, 45. And Jeet Rama, 50. Malcolm did some good work at ringside, but I really like the rating. Not the rating, but what stands out is that 54 from Chase Parker. That's really good. 67. So Khabib makes his return, last being seen the night after TakeOver Legacy. Khabib says NXT is on fire, and he wants part of it. He thanks William Regal for signing him to Inferno and taking a chance on him, and now he wants to repay him. That's why he called Regal and says he wants to be a part of Team Inferno. Regal says yes, and he puts Khabib in charge of finding the next 5 members of Team Inferno. Khabib says this band, he wants the best this brand has to offer, and he's looking at any and everyone on this brand. Pete Dunne comes out, and Dunne just puts his fist on his chin, telling Khabib that he wants in on this team. So a few things happen here. Khabib is part of Team Inferno. Regal puts him in charge of finding the next couple members of the Inferno team, and Pete Dunne looks like he's not only getting in the face of Khabib again for the second time in a row, but also he looks like he wants to be a part of Team Inferno. So we'll see what happens here, but very, very interesting development here. 62. And about that had good heat and decent wrestling. Dragon Lee defeated Tony Nese and 10-4 with the Operation Dragon. Dragon Lee 69, Tony Nese 43. They didn't click, but 62, pretty good. Just a match to give Dragon Lee some momentum. I have some ideas of what I want to do with him at Supremacy, but I need other things to fall in place for it to make sense. So Dragon Lee will probably be on Supremacy, but we'll see how it shakes out. But Dragon Lee getting the win here tonight. Okay, so a band called God's Hate performs a heavy metal song that gets the crowd rocking, and the man singing is the returning Brody King. As the sounds get louder, Brody King heads down the ring. King gets in the ring with a spotlight on him as he performs his musical solo. He finishes the song. As it's over, the crowd is amped as we see a new side of Brody King. He debuted his new punk rock star gimmick and got an initial rating of 4. Very marketable gimmick. But psychology would not really be helped during the matches. Oh, man. I thought the gimmick was going to be better. But I remember I was watching an interview. I don't know what it was, how long ago it was, but it was some weeks ago where I saw Brody King was actually the leader or the face of a band called God's Hate. I like alternative rock, but this is real heavy, so I don't really listen to it all that much. But I said my problem with Brody King was he can kick out good ratings, but his character development was a little lacking, so that's why I took him off TV. So I found something to do with him, and I finally found something to do with him. Even though the gimmick was poor, I still am optimistic that you don't really see this gimmick all that often, so it is unique. You don't really see a punk rock star gimmick where the guy is singing and he's about to perform a match. So I thought that was pretty unique and something different as he's in the match against Leon Ruff. But they don't click, and about to have decent match. Brody King defeated Leon Ruff at 10-11 by pinfall. The Gonzo Bomb. Brody King 63, Leon Ruff 45. They didn't click, but 61. You won't hear me complain. Pretty good match. 77. So Bo comes out and says that he has something important to say. He calls out Kushida, and Bo says that Kushida is one of his favorite stars of all time, and he knows Kushida is in the twilight of his career instead of the rising of his career. And Bo says that his is just getting started. Bo says he needs to be successful because a lot of people at home are counting on him. Bo says that Kushida has been a big influence over his career. He looked up to him. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's one of his favorites of all time. And he wants to know, with all the tutelage that Kushida has, will he be willing to train him? Kushida thinks for a second. The crowd is chanting, yes, yes, yes. Kushida thinks for a few seconds, and he eventually says yes. So this one, when I was talking a couple weeks ago, or however long ago, in a few videos ago, when I said I have some pretty fun plans for Kushida and Boa, and there we are. Boa is going to be trained by Kushida, so Kushida's the mentor and Boa's the protege. I think this would be very good for Boa and Kushida in this storyline called The Rising Sun. And I'm gonna say spoiler alert, but they will be training together. And this won't just be for singles, but they will be a newly formed tag team called The Rising Sun. I think that's a pretty cool name, so I like that. And we'll see what happens. But I think this is something different. Kushida is a single star. He's been a cruiserweight champion in my save, but also he did lose the North American title opportunity. And if it wasn't for this, he probably would be stuck in a little bit of nothing right now. Since we got plans for Yoi, you got AJ Styles, you got Hiromu coming in. So Kushida's kind of lost in the mix, and I think this would be a good character development for Kushida, while also building up a new star in Boa. So I like this combination. 75. Kathy interviews Tyler Bate to get his thoughts on his loss on Saturday. Tyler Bate says that Takeover can be his loss at Takeover can be interpreted in many different ways. He stole the show, but he also lost as well. Tyler Bate says Saturday proved that he has it as a single star, and he will not stop until he gets gold, wherever that is. The North American Championship, the Openweight Championship, whatever it is, he wants to get gold. And Ilya Dragunov appears into frame with Marcel Bartel and Alexander Wolf. He says, "You indeed showed the world that you're great, but you're one man. You see, the lads are going to be on the state side for a bit, and we decided to form a group. We want all of yours best to be in it, and we would like you to join." Tyler says he'll think about it, and Ilya says, "Okay, but don't think about it for too long." So Ilya Dragunov, Marcel Bartel, and Alexander Wolf are forming a group called Unbezigbar, and you can think of this as the American branch of Imperium. So yeah, you can think of this as the American branch of Imperium, but without Walter. I like that name, Walter. But this group is going to be called Unbezigbar, and it's going to have Ilya Dragunov, Marcel Bartel, and Alexander Wolf, and we'll see what happens. But this trio was supposed to be a temporary thing, just to forward the Dragon League Ilya Dragunov feud. And I like these three together, even though I rather prefer Fabian Eichner over Alexander Wolf. I'm really not a fan of him all that much, but as a guy in a group, Alexander Wolf's okay, I guess. But I like this pairing, and yeah, so they're going to be staying in NXT a lot longer than I thought they would, but let's get back into it. 37. Aria Blake is in the ring. Michelle Thomas graphics hit the screen, and Michelle Thomas comes out from the side entrance on her motorcycle. Michelle is decked out in all black as she's serious business. So yeah, Santana Girl, I told you I repackaged her and named her Michelle Thomas. Her gimmick is the Maverick Michelle Thomas, so she's a loner. I had a video package for her a couple weeks ago that I just showed her at a bar. She had to beat up a guy at the bar that was disrespecting her. She interrupted Tenille Dashwood, and she's having an in-ring debut under this new moniker for Inferno. So let's see, let's get back into it. 17, oh my gosh. But about that, decent reaction from the crowd, but terrible wrestling. I say Michelle Thomas defeated Aria Blake in 4:51 by pinfall, the handspring elbow. Man, these two, I mean, those are okay ratings, I guess, but they had no investment. Hopefully that doesn't take this show out too bad, because that was absolutely suck. But yeah, Michelle Thomas gets a win here tonight. Chelsea Green comes out with Tay Conti, Paris Marie, Robert Stone, and Madison Rayne. Chelsea laughs and says that she's always been one step ahead of everybody. She was one step ahead of Deanna, and she was now one step ahead of Renee. Chelsea says that this is their division, and they own it. Women are on TV because they allow it. Chelsea introduces one of the pillars of the beautiful people back in Impact, Madison Rayne. Madison says she's only 35 years old, but you wouldn't know that. She said that she came to NXT because she wanted to be the foundation for other women to become superstars. Yet this company only saw her as a trainer. She had matches in developmental, a match on Thunder, but no call-up. Jason Momoa thought she was old and out of gas. They pushed her to become a road agent and a trainer. Madison says, "I'm too old, but yet you have 37-year-old women wearing clown makeup, but she's too old." Madison says Chelsea was the only one that called her and believed that she had more left. Madison says she's tired of being selfless and she's going to start to become more selfish. So yeah, it is a very interesting story about what happened with Ashley Lane, aka Madison Rayne. Back in TEW 2016, I started my developmental system, and back in TEW 2016, you could hire people as a developmental trainer. So that's what I did for Madison Rayne, Doug Williams, and I think Al Snow, and I hired them as developmental trainers. But I guess they don't do that anymore in TEW 2020. So they were just wrestlers, and they're wrestling on developmental. And it took me a while for them to catch on to that. I said, okay, since I didn't have any plans for Madison Rayne at the time, I said I'll let it stay in developmental. But now that the beautiful people have formed, and now that she's in the company, now that she's on the main roster, quote unquote, I feel like I should use her, and I should use her background as a little bit of motivation as to why she joined the beautiful people. She joined the beautiful people because Jason Momoa and everybody else in NXT didn't think that she had it more left in the tank, but Chelsea Green thought she did. 55. Kylie Rae comes out and she says she knows what it's like to be on the sidelines. She's been there for months now, but that doesn't give her the right to be a sellout. Kylie says she looked up to Madison Rayne back in TNA and knows I don't know what that part was supposed to mean, but Madison tells, and now she's aligned with her, talking about Chelsea Green. Madison tells Kylie to go back to NXT Explosion, the B show, where you belong. Kylie takes offense to this and kicks Madison in the face. Tay Conti and Paris Marie beat down Kylie Rae, with Chelsea finishing her off with the Canadian Destroyer. Madison Rayne, Chelsea Green, Paris Marie, Tay Conti stand strong with Robert Stone in the background, liking what he saw. 76. And about that had great heat and good wrestling. Io Shirai defeated Layla Hirsch in 15-11 by submission with the Cloverleaf. Okay, Io showing some moves out of her repertoire. Io Shirai, 87. Layla Hirsch, who is one of the people I actually put on my list to push, 47. 92. So Io Shirai picks up the win, but a woman in the back in a black hoodie stands behind her. It's Kaylee Ray from Thunder. Kaylee Ray, before Io can do anything, gives Io a gory bomb. Jessica Havoc comes out to the defense of Io Shirai, but Kaylee Ray jumps the barricade and heads out of the arena. Havoc tries to help Io, but Io slaps her hands away, much to Havoc's dismay. So, a little bit of a lot going on in this angle. So, Kaylee Ray from Thunder really throwing the first shot in this brand-to-brand war against from Thunder to Inferno. So she attacked Io Shirai. I'm pretty sure she just made a statement on the behalf of Thunder. Did she do it alone? Did she do it with the help of Trish? We don't know. We'll have to see tomorrow in the next video. But Kaylee Ray went ahead and attacked Io Shirai, and Jessica Havoc tried to help Io Shirai. But those two have history, as it was Jessica Havoc that cost Io Shirai the match against Tenille Dashwood for the NXT Championship, I think before I even started doing this on YouTube. So, yeah, and Jessica Havoc, she returned to the company yesterday, quote unquote, basically saying that she wants to change her attitude. She doesn't want to be this mean girl. She doesn't want to be anyone's lackey. She just wants to be Jessica Havoc, and she's still trying to figure out who she is, and she wants to right the wrongs of her past. And one of those wrongs is is Io Shirai, actually. And Io Shirai, even though Jessica Havoc says she's changed, she just slaps her hands away as Io doesn't want anything to do with Jessica Havoc. She wants Kaylee Ray. 78. So Yuri Katsumatsu comes out. He said he's been champ since September of last year. He's defended this North American Championship with pride. He said that he slayed Damian Priest, Pete Dunne, Lio Rush, Gargano, and the latest to that list is Tyler Bate. Yuri says he was a tag star in New Japan, but now he becomes a superstar in NXT. Yuri said he and Chad are a lot alike. Both men were in great tag teams, came to NXT to take a chance on themselves, and now they're champions. Yuri has a lot of respect for Chad, but at Supremacy, he will prove that the North American Championship is the more prestigious belt. Ace Austin comes out with Jake something. Ace says, "You're not the only one that's been winning. Jake and I have been running roughshod over this brand, and I feel like it's time for them to cash in." Jake towers over Yuri Katsumatsu with the height difference, because I'm pretty sure Jake something is really tall, really compared to Yuri Katsumatsu. And you see Yuri Katsumatsu, and you see Yuri Katsumatsu, you see Yuri, that Jake has been tamed for so long, and now it's time to let the beast out. Yuri says he isn't scared, and Ace says you should be. And Ace tells Jake to get him. And Ace chokeslams Yuri Katsumatsu. He grabs him and throws him on the canvas with a chokeslam. So it looks like Ace Austin and Jake something have their eyes on the North American Championship. We'll see, but it might not be Yuri Katsumatsu versus Chad Gable. It could be Ace Austin or Jake something against Chad Gable. We'll see what happens, but it looks like Yuri won't have an easy road to take over supremacy. 93. Chelsea Green was supposed to be on. She wasn't supposed to be on screen, but anyway. Jordan Grace is in Regal's office, and he says that Inferno has some established women, but we need up-and-comers like you. Would you like to be on Team Inferno? And Jordan Grace says it will be her pleasure, and she won't let Regal down. Io Shirai comes in. She says that she wants Kaylee Ray next week. And Regal says, Kaylee Ray's on Thunder, and he just can't make it happen like that. He doesn't even know how she even got in the building. He says that in order for that to happen, he needs to talk to Trish. And Io says, fine, if you're not going to do something, I will. I'll do it myself. Indy Hartwell barges in and says the beautiful people have been a nuisance since they formed, and Kylie Ray is her friend, and it was so disrespectful what they did to her. She wants one of them next week. And William Regal says, okay. So Jordan Grace is going to be on Team Inferno. Io Shirai wants Kaylee Ray, and Indy Hartwell coming to her friend's defense, and Kylie Ray, and Kylie Ray, and she wants one of the beautiful people next week. So we'll see who it is. Could be Chelsea, could be Madison if she's really in the group. I'm pretty sure she is at this point, but could be Paris or it could be Tay Conti. So we'll see who it is, but we got a match confirmed for next week, and I think this is going to be the main event. AJ Styles, Tyler Bate. We'll see what that match rating is. 78. I'm not going to complain about that. And about to have fantastic heat and great wrestling, AJ Styles defeated Tyler Bate in 1954 by pinfall at the Super Styles Clash. Dude's second night in NXT officially. And he's already busting out the Super Styles Clash. AJ Styles, 80. Tyler Bate, 67. But the match of that night was really Keith Lee and Alex Shelley. I'm pretty sure that was the only match of the night, because that had a storyline associated with it. But 78 for the main event, pretty good. 88 to close the show. So AJ Styles picks up the win in a really good match. He just proved why he's the phenomenal one. He holds his arms up in victory until Adam Cole comes out. The crowd is getting excited because two former Bullet Club members on the same brand in the same ring right now. So Adam Cole gets in the ring and gets in the face of AJ Styles. Adam says that this is his show and his brand. AJ Styles smirks and says, okay. AJ extends his hand, and Adam Cole, knowing that Finn Balor, a guy who he thought was his friend, turned on him, and Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby, and Roddy turned on him. Adam Cole, I don't think he does friendships right now. He's really a loner. But he does his Adam Cole baby shtick instead of shaking him. Khabib comes down the rampway. They see this all unfold as the show comes to a close. So tell me what you thought down below. This was a really action-packed show. We had Hiromu Takahashi debut. AJ Styles, great match with Tyler Bate. We had Kaylee Ray. That was the first shot. We had Keith Lee's open challenge where Alex Shelley burning the house down. We had Yuri Katsumatsu getting beat down by Jake Something and Ace Austin. So it's a lot going on. Brand versus brand, these interpersonal rivalries. We'll see what happens, but I'm having so much fun booking this. And so tell me what you thought down below. And what did we get on the show? 84. Really good show. The show increased our popularity 28 regions. So this was a really good show and a really long video. I'm sorry about that. I was interrupted 2 times. I had to go eat, and somebody interrupted. I had to go see what that was all about. But tell me what you thought down below. This was one of my better shows I've booked, and I'm really happy to see what happens. So I'll see you on the flip side. Have a blessed one. Bye.